Oh boy. Do we have some things to say about this one? About this homestand? I mean, my goodness. Sharks lose 4-1. They almost got franchise history tonight. Um, yeah, we will talk about all that and then some right now. Teal Town After Dark. Let's do this. Good evening, everyone. It is April 14th, 2021. The San Jose Sharks just finished a 1-4 homestand. And really, we can elaborate on that, and we will right now on Teal Town After Dark. This is your live and inactive Sharks postgame. Be a part of the show. Teal together and chat with us and fellow Sharks fans on the page or the app. Follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, and find everything at tealtownusa.com. All right. With that being said, good evening, everyone. I am Erik Kuhre alongside Al Martinet. Al, how's it going tonight?
Rough night, rough night. We'll get into that a little bit, but this is probably the end of the season for the Sharks.
Yeah. 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 I mean,
I know that's a hard way to open it, but I just
how
don't see how they're going to come back from it.
how do you come back from it? I mean, that's the thing. You're given this golden opportunity. The Blues and the Coyotes, not to spoil the wraparound, but the you spoil a chance to get in. Now, granted, and Ian Reed said it in our group chat that this isn't a bad thing for the Sharks, but you have a chance to get in there. You are on the cusp. Nobody wants that fourth spot, and you just lay a biggest egg over the last week and a half. Like, my God. I mean, you lose 5-1 to Anaheim. You beat LA 5-2. Woohoo! Then the next night you lay an egg 4-2. Then you get shut out by the third string goaltender for the Ducks. Gibson gets the night off. Ryan Miller's a backup. You go with Anthony Stolarz. And yes, Stolarz isn't a bad goaltender, but when he goes on a 125-minute, 13-second shutout streak at home, and granted, home ice advantage is totally different this
year. Especially this year.
Yeah, exactly. Especially this year. But my goodness. Come on. When Brett Hedican is giving you crap about the urgency on the power play, that should tell you something.
Yeah. I mean, this is the fifth straight loss or fifth straight game where the Sharks have not scored the opening goal. So they're already working from behind. This is regardless if it's LA or St. Louis. You can't do that against any NHL team. And they should have at least given. I mean, they got behind way early for their rookie goaltender, and they just never got their feet on.
No, I mean, you feel bad for Josef Kozenash, his first NHL start, and just getting a rough go as it is. Granted, he kept the puck out of the net for 8 minutes, so there's one good thing. It ends up being, Getzlaf, his fourth of the season. The last time Ryan Getzlaf scored a goal, it was March 6th, 14 games ago. I mean, I'm sure some of these Sharks have shines longer than that. I mean, for crying out loud.
He's been injured a lot this season, but you can say that for most of the Sharks players this season. We talk a lot about the forward depth of the Sharks. Timo Meyer, probably one of his worst seasons, is another disappointing season for him. The Sharks have a lot of decisions to make regarding Timo Meyer because a year from now or 2 years from now, when his RFA rights come up and that $10 million contract comes up, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Like there, this offseason is pretty critical what you do with Timo Meyer and also Hurdle. But um, we're talking down the road, but like the forward depth has just not been there for the Sharks. Um, and I believe that, like, Jones has played decent when you give him support. And sorry, I don't know the new rookie goaltender, but like if you give goalies support, they will actually perform.
Like the old saying in the Sharks ad campaign for their donations for goals. You know, uh, in life as in hockey, it takes goals to win. You outside the LA win, which was a 5-2 Sharks win. That's the only win on this homestand. You have one, two, so you got three there. You got shutout on Monday and one tonight. You had 4 goals, so a total of 9 goals. Let's see. Yeah, a
Yeah.
total of 9 goals on this homestand in 5 games. You're not even getting 2 goals a game. Hashtag 2 or fewer. Yeah, I went there. You go 2 for 20 on the power play in this homestand.
And regardless, like this is the easiest part of the schedule. Like right now,
Exactly.
you got Minnesota. Look, I'm glad Patrick Marleau's getting his whole Gordie Howe thing, and I'm hoping he retires right after that. But like, you play Vegas right after, you play Colorado 4 times straight, 4 games straight, and then Arizona. You don't have much of a pathway. Like,
I mean the good thing I look at it is that they've shown that they're capable of beating Minnesota. Last time they were in Vegas, they had their shots and won almost won one and almost went into overtime. You know, and he'd
yeah,
say goals are cool, but if you tried moral victories, no, they taste like avocado and Brussels sprouts and broccoli to me.
but this one hurts
Blech.
more because like the only team the Sharks have done well this entire season, the two teams the Sharks have done well this entire season, the Kings and the Ducks. And the Kings sadly played the Sharks pretty well, you know, last 2 games, and the Ducks sadly beat the Sharks. Like, there's no way to get around it. Like, you know, I thought the Sharks played decent. I think it was a solid goaltender performance last game, but this one is probably more disappointing just because there was a lack of urgency from start to finish.
And that's the thing. I mean, we saw what was it earlier in the homestand, or maybe it was before they came home. You know, uh, we weren't ready. I know AJ's going to come in with the quotes on in the chat, but when you see some of the comments already, Hurdle saying we started slow. I expect more from myself. We didn't score for 6 periods. I need to be better for our team. Yeah, you do, and we know you damn well can do it. You know, Bugner says we didn't have enough volume. I'm sorry. What are we trying to? I know Ron Wilson was trying to bake a cake, years ago, and now we don't have enough volume. What are we going for the nice little bouffant hairdo? I mean, you had volume. You had 46 shots on Stolars on Monday night. You finished with 28 tonight. You had some decent chances. I'll give you that. I mean, you had some possession battles against the Ducks that you should have ran them over. But of course, but of course, you know, you get a penalty and don't do anything. And when you don't do bad penalties, they're going to take liberties. You saw what happened with Couture. You saw some of the stupid crap that went down last game. You saw those cross checks. And guess what? You just see things happening over again. And because you can't get that crap done, teams are going to feel like, going off. I mean, when they get to Vegas, Reeves is going to have a field day.
Yeah. And, there's been rare times when I really thought there's been a bad locker room for the Sharks. 2014 when you had no captains, the whole Todd McClellan thing. But this has probably been the most toxic locker room environment for the Sharks. You see, you know, Erik Karlsson not doing the simple things that give Brett Hagen a lot of credit tonight. I thought he wasn't holding back. Same with Randy Hahn. Like you
They
don't see
shouldn't at
that,
this point.
but you've never really seen that. And they've been criticized in the past for that. When Drew Amenda would go at their star players, but you see EK65 giving up turnovers in your own zone, leading to goals, it's been bad all season, and the last 5 games have really shown it against below average teams. And even the worry more part is the Ducks and the Kings are going to be really good the next 2 or 3 years. They have the draft picks, they have the young talent coming up, and we don't have much.
No, because the development in this organization stinks. It stinks. I mean, you're flipping through guys through the lineup. I mean, it's great to see Gregor in the lineup, Handemark in the lineup, Veal in the lineup, Sorensen in the lineup. You all get chances, which is great. Which is great to see the guys, but it tells you that nobody's sticking. And some that are sticking, like Leonard's on I think they said on the broadcast tonight, a 22-game schneid. And they were talking how promising he is. I mean, where's Chekovic? If he's supposed to be so good from the K, he had a great year in the K, and great now he's just getting his feet in the A. Where's Shemilevsky? And right, and I think this is just reiterating what you said, Al. Well, the development stinks, but both the Kings and Ducks have been in rebuild mode for a while. Yeah, we're probably about 2-3 years behind where they're at right now.
That's average. I think we're I would say we're 4 or 5 years away from even considering doing a rebuild, just because the way the contracts are structured, can't really do that, and I don't think ownership wants them to do that.
And see, that's the thing, Al. The thing is that there's pieces here to win now. The thing is, while Erik Karlsson can take crap for what he said, I didn't come here to be here for a rebuild. He's not wrong.
No, he isn't.
He isn't wrong. Kane needs to be better, and hopefully his ankle's okay after blocking that burn shot and the tail end of that power play in the first period. Burns needs to be better. And this team needs to be better. Couture, they showed on pregame, 1 goal in his last 18 games. He's hurt. He's absolutely hurt. And I'll give him and I'll give him kudos for being a leader to try to hang in there. But you need to find more. Meyer, you need to find more. Hurdle, you need to find more. LeBanc, you got demoted in this game to try to get something going.
Some of that was also just to give balanced scoring on all 4 lines, but having Balcers on your top line didn't make much sense. I thought LeBanc played pretty well. I mean, he created 2 penalties, but the power play has been non-existent for the past 8 weeks. When the Sharks get a power play, I'm just assuming we're not going to score on it. That's just how I'm assuming right now. And I think other teams are just kind of playing the same way. They're going to play rough. They're going to play rough with us just because we're not going to counter. We're not going to score on our own power play.
Lacey mentioning, Chekovic and Shimolovsky are exactly where they should be, the same place Leonard should be. Yeah, I agree. And you can give crap to EK65, but make sure you give crap to Brent Burns as well. Erik Karlsson did get the goal tonight that should be that got this team to end their 125-minute shutout streak. It's great that you found your clapper. Apparently, apparently he clapped on this time. Thank God. Somebody wants to shoot in this damn team. I mean, especially on the power play. I know that wasn't a power play goal, but my goodness, come on. You know,
Yeah, there were times when like Hurdle had a 2-on-1 and he shoots it far, like it wasn't even close.
Christian Ehrhoff was very proud of that. I mean, my God. Where was the shooting accuracy hurdle, from last year's All-Star game?
And we were saying like last year that like we're gonna get a healthy Erik Karlsson, we're gonna get a healthy Couture, who I thought was banged up last year, a healthy Hurdle, and it just never developed that way.
No,
Um, some of that's because the Couture, like the COVID season with the game structured the way they are, with games, every 2 days. Um, you can throw that in there, but like it's just not been at like even at the Sharks at their top form, I don't think they could have even made it to the playoffs.
see, I kind of disagree with you because on paper they have the ability to do so. Um, it's just the big players get on schneid's. The younger players, they try to contribute, but they aren't ready to contribute that heavy right now.
I think it's more of a worrisome sign if Marlowe is your fourth line center. Like maybe he could be a potential like like I don't even think Marlowe should be in the league, but I think they're just really just getting him out there just to get the how the accomplishment.
I mean, and good on him. I mean, good on him for that. I mean, uh, the 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 dedication to the game, I think is as my freaking mic just went out. That's lovely. There we go. The thing is that right. Hey, my Scarlett, microphone adapter is working as well as the Sharks did with this homestand. Not great.
It's still more reliable than the Sharks power play.
Yeah. Well, and Kevin mentioning, but Marlowe isn't taking a spot away from anyone deserving. It's not like you're. It's not like somebody's sitting there like Stevie Weeks in Mystery Alaska, ready to go. That's the thing. And at this rate, if nobody's ready to go, Marlowe's going to be in the lineup, and why shouldn't he? You know,
Yep.
you know.
And like you know, it's not like the Sharks aren't playing their top four players. Burns played 29 minutes tonight. Karlsson played 28 minutes tonight. Uh, Ferraro played 20 minutes tonight. You go down the list and you're playing your top guys. It's just you're losing 4-1. And there's not really much I can say. It's like it's the same result every single time, and you do not have three three top lines of consistent forwards that can at least support your goaltender.
I kind of look at it in a sense. Al, are you a Giants fan?
Yeah,
Okay, so remember when Barry Zito would be pitching, a number of times, and he just would not get the run support,
on the A's, yeah,
and
yeah,
for the Giants for that matter too,
yeah,
up until like I think was it the 20, what was it, the 2012 playoffs? I think in the 2012 playoffs,
yeah.
where he had a renaissance, but he would have these gems and not get the goal support. Now, granted, Martin Jones has had times where he's been pulled so many times this season. It's not even funny. At the same time, though, some of these games he's had them, hanging in there. This was one of them for Kornash, or excuse me, Koshinash. I'm going to get it
Yes.
right. I'm going to try and get this right. Not Kornor, or I think it was what Bugner called him in the morning skate. He played fairly decent for them tonight. 27 shots he faced. He stopped 24. I mean, Yeah, it's an 852 save percentage, but I mean, my goodness. You know, um, now we're getting some of the comments from the dressing room from Bob Bugner. Without picking on one guy or another, but if you ask Karlsson, he'll tell you he's better than that. Yeah. You know what? Where's my freaking apple? Yeah. Not even close to being better than that. We have to make better.
I can't believe he even said that.
Good. I'm sorry.
I'm glad,
You need to
but,
go out with that.
But that's good. Oh, man.
Okay, then if he's not here for a rebuild and he's going to get called up from his coach and he's not liking it, oh well, be like NSYNC and go bye.
I don't mind it, but to even say that, you have to think that the coach, he's probably thinking about his job security too.
Right. And I don't blame him. Bugner goes on to say, Koshinash was nervous, but I thought he settled in. We certainly didn't give him much support, as we just mentioned. The most disappointing part is we didn't get any ground when the guys we're chasing didn't get any ground. Yeah. And like we said, we started slow. It's just like, come on. Hurdle said, I think we made it easy on Storlars. We need to be hungrier. It sucks when you don't score for so long. It wasn't a good game by us.
Normally, you'd never see a coach go after their star, quote unquote, player, even if they're off, if they have rough nights, they'll never go after them. And this has been a recurring theme for EK65, not just this season, not even last season. Even this season, we went to the Western Conference Finals. There were times where you could really be suspect of his work ethic. But we also did sign him to that gigantic contract. So there's really one person that you should blame, and that is Doug Wilson, not Bugner, not Karlsson.
Well, I mean, I'll give EK a pass in the 2019 playoffs. Yeah, he got on Dylan. I did not like that, but he had points. He had some good points. In that series, I mean, he helped part of being, to get that comeback going against Vegas. But you start wondering if this is the sign of cracks showing in the drywall.
I mean, the cracks were already there, and I think finally the wall is kind of broken down because the leadership that Pavelski did provide, they've never filled that hole, and it's probably going to take a long time for someone to fill it. And I think they were banking on Erik, Evander, for him to fill that role.
Sure.
At least in some ways. I think they've gotten a lot of that from Evander Kane in some forms. I've really liked Evander Kane's game tonight. He was a little bit injured after that shot off his leg, but he's been one of the most consistent guys this entire season, and especially with everything going around. It's just...
keep going, Al. Oh, goody.
What, did I boot him off?
I think that's more on me.
That was not my intention.
No, not your intention at all. Hang on, Al. I'm getting you. Al, there you are.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. No. I that's totally on me. Continue what you were saying. I apologize on that.
I don't know what I'm looking at for AJ, but okay. But you're just looking for more consistency from everyone. And bottom line, there really hasn't been that much consistency from you're looking at Hurdle, you're looking at Couture, who's been injured a lot this season. And the biggest complaint I have to ledge against that is Meyer. Meyer, who has been probably the most disappointing player this season.
Definitely had a lot more expectations on not just Meyer, but a lot of players.
Hold on.
Hang on, let me just get the super chat in, AJ, and then I'll bring you in. Super chat from Phantom0044. I'm sad. Let's just rebuild and get it over with. So thank you for your donation. Of course, if you use super chat, it's great. We appreciate it. But we also suggest if you want to make a donation to the show using Venmo at Teal Town USA. If you couldn't hear, AJ is joined us. AJ, good evening, sir. How are you?
How's it going, guys? You say Meyer's the most disappointing. I have 11.5 million ways to disagree with you.
Well, I think there's more than one.
Hold on. Let me preface what was said earlier about the EK65 comments. If I remember correctly, I believe Pashelka, but I might be wrong. But during the media call, he was asked about essentially what he thought of Karlsson's game tonight. And he was he was asked directly about Karlsson's game. So take that for what it is. It's not like Bugner went out of his way to call out Karlsson. So he was asked directly about him. But, I mean, yeah, okay, the coach said what he said, but it's not as if we're all blind. He had an atrocious game tonight. So it is what it is. But look, the fact of the matter is you have skill on this team. There are guys like Couture, Hertl, Kane, Balsers. There's a decent amount of guys on this team that can do damage. And it took you pulling your goaltender to score on the third string goalie of the worst team in your division in garbage time.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's far more concerning.
When you go 125 minutes on a third string goalie, that's unacceptable. That is so unacceptable. Go 2 for 20.
125 minutes. I think you need to learn how to math, bro.
No, they score with 7:26 left.
125 minutes is over 2 games, bro.
Right. They scored with 7:26 left against LA. They got shut out, and then
I thought you were talking about Stoilers.
Oh no, my bad, my Belinda. But I'm saying 125 minutes since that Meyer power play goal against LA to EK65's goal. Come on.
Yeah. Well, the more concerning thing for me too is that during the media call, you can see it on guys' faces.
Oh yeah.
Like Meyer came in tonight and it was just very kind of. Well, first off, Hertl comes in and he's holding his head in his hand and he's, a lot of that. Meyer, you can tell, I feel like this is very much a carbon copy of last season. We're seeing this team splinter again. They're not coming together.
I mean, I know I wish I could pull it up from here, but I mean, when you see Hertl looking like that, what the heck just happened to us?
Dude, Hertl was so upset he almost had 2 sentences instead of just one long one.
I mean, I'm just, seriously.
Did it make sense though?
It did. But I got to tell you though, it was interesting. I see Lacey's in the chat here. If you remember after Monday, Lacey mentioned EK65 perhaps, trying to do too much or be too creative instead of making the simple play. And what's funny is tonight, Hedeken on the broadcast said almost the exact same thing.
Yep.
It's by making the fancy
play.
So stick
taps to Lacey is what I'm saying.
But I mean, and Ali, you mentioned it too. That it's like, okay, you're making the fancy play, but where's the urgency? I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm probably as pissed as Mario is right now at that press conference. I mean, and Lacey, good luck on your Peloton ride tonight, as you put in the chat. But I mean,
the thing is, there's just so many bad ways to look at this. It's like you can't solve a third string goaltender without pulling your own goaltender. Right? Like, that's not good. Uh, it's the worst team in the league, or I'm sorry, not in the league, in the division.
Mhm.
But we all know that's the Sabres. But the worst team in the division, and this was the stretch you were set up for. You had
Exactly.
5 games against the only 2 teams that are behind you, and the people that you're trying to catch all lost. Like, I mean, was the red carpet not big enough for you?
I mean, go ahead, Al.
No, like we've been saying this time and time again. And even like Devin Dubnik, who we just traded to Colorado, won. So like it's definitely the locker room chemistry, and also it's just we don't have the forward depth.
Well, hell, I've been saying that since the beginning of the season, where it's like we don't have a top 6, we have a top 4.
Even that, I don't think we have a top 4.
We have the pieces for a top 4, but they're not showing up or they're hurt.
Well, and one of those pieces had to be, taken from Ottawa.
And he was in the lineup as a top line forward tonight.
Yeah. No,
That should tell you something about your depth right there.
well, and what does that say about LeBanc? And then you saw the changes that they made, where it's like, okay, Sorensen and VL out, Handemark and Gregor in. Gregor did not have a good game tonight. It was, and then Milosh, like we all thought that Christian Jaros was not that great. Milosh, holy hell. If there's something else that has come out of this stretch, is that this team does not have a serviceable 7th defenseman.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I know you put Patterson in with the Barracuda, maybe to get some games in, but
Jesus Christ! If Knyzhov doesn't pan out, holy hell!
right? I mean, he's been fairly decent. He's had some rough times with some penalties, but he's played fairly well. He's got some good speed with him. Stick taps to him, in that blood fest that he had. But I mean, it's just, man, the thing with it, guys, is that, and I'll say this again, you had the golden opportunity with this 5-game stretch. You almost beat the Knights at least once. You blew the 2 Arizona games. I mean, if this team was pretty good, they might be fighting for number 3, maybe number 2, if they get on a hot stretch here.
Well,
and
if
instead,
they don't piss away their opportunities. I mean, was there not a game? I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Was there not a game versus St. Louis where they were up by 4-2 and lost 7-6?
Yeah.
that too.
Or even against Vegas when they blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just go back and look at a handful of these games. You look at those games, you combine it with the last 5 that they've played, which, again, it's right there for you guys to take it. And unfortunately, you piss away the opportunity. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you caught our buddy Shang today. He had a really great article that kind of detailed how the Sharks, they're in purgatory. And it kind of reminded me of Tim Heed, where it's like, he's not good enough to play, but he's too good to let go of. And it's kind of the Sharks are in this same boat where they have too much talent to tank, but they're not good enough to compete. It's this horrific purgatory that they're stuck in right now. And when you look at the contracts on the books going forward, this is not going to be the end of the 2021 season. This is not going to end that.
No.
Losing one piece of this, if you were to say lose Burns in the offseason, whether it was working out a deal with Seattle, if you just exposed him, whatever it is, I mean, yes, you do get a significant chunk of change off the books, but it all depends on, okay, then, well, what do you do with it? Doug Wilson was talking a couple days ago about possibly having 10 picks going into this year's draft. Now, we know that Doug Wilson treats picks as currency. So maybe he tries to make a move for a piece that is already kind of confirmed. I don't know, but if you remember last year, how many picks did the Sharks have? Was it 8 or 9?
I think it was 9.
And they took forwards, all forwards. So I'm thinking this year maybe they go all defense.
Just even out.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately, the Sharks, they're not exactly known for just taking the best name available. They target people. And I get that. They obviously, if you targeted Hurdle or if you targeted Couture, hey, good pulls. That Timo Meyer, now if if you look at some of the other ones that were there, like say, I don't know, Barzal, Rantanen,
Besser.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of makes that choice a little sus. But, boys, this is to me, this is the beginning of the end of this season. I mean, it only gets worse from here on out. And again, I don't mean to be the harbinger of doom. I don't mean to be the Debbie Downer, but I think it gets worse before it gets better.
To quote, Mike
Hold
Babcock.
on, I can save this. Silver lining, it's going to be easier to get tickets for Sharks games next year.
Oh,
It'll be easier to get
worry about that.
It'll be easier to get Sharks tickets this year. Whenever we get to get back,
if that happens,
if that happens, and I probably 365ers will get the first crack if that happens.
Well, and deservedly so.
Absolutely, and you know where to find me if you want to get rid of your tickets. But like Laurel said, just dress the Barracuda in Sharks uniforms and go for it. They already are.
Well, the funny part is,
I mean, aren't they?
Somebody had mentioned that while there is discussion evidently about potentially opening up SAP Center to Sharks games, to Sharks fans for games before this season ends, there is evidently no discussion going on about opening it up to for the Barracuda games, right. Which, of course, my response is, would anybody notice a difference?
No.
Oh man,
it's so sad.
It's sad, but
on the Barracuda.
It's sad, and you hope like heck once they're in their new building at Solar for America Ice,
Oh, that'll be a difference. That'll be huge.
That'll be. I mean, I think a lot of us will be curious as to go into it. It's just frustrating. I mean, when and you put this in our group chat, but when Mark Purdy kind of goes off a little bit, Purdy tweets out, for too many shifts the last 2 games, too many San Jose Sharks have been playing as if they were disappointed they weren't dealt away at Monday's trade deadline. Maybe they are, which is a hell of a thing.
And you never see him do that.
No, I mean, you rarely see Purdy. He would usually have more of a sarcastic remark, if anything.
And
but
when did he retire? Like 2 years ago?
I think we interviewed AJ. I think we interviewed him like 3-4 years ago. One of our favorite interviews, I think, too. That was fun.
Absolutely. But this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Treat me right fucking
That's
now.
it.
And then hang up, And shoot, we broke out a Slapshot reference, a Mystery Alaska reference, Well, shoot.
And what was another thing that happened tonight, boys? Another night of not being able to put up a power play goal. It's just one more thing.
What's the streak?
Oh,
we went 2 for 20 on the homestand. They went 0 for 3 and 1 for 5 against LA. And then,
I can give you this. Going in, what tonight? 0 for 3. What did they do on Monday? Obviously, they didn't score at all. But how many chances?
0 for 5, I believe.
Jesus, was it that much?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this: coming into the Monday night game, they were 3 for their last 21. So you add in tonight, it's 3 for 24. If you're saying it was 5,
3 for 29.
Yeah. 3 for your last 29.
Not even 10%.
Yeah. That's And during that time, it should also be noted that they've both scored and allowed a shorthanded goal. So And I don't think Kozanash was horrible.
No.
Bugner is the first one to tell you he didn't get a lot of support. I think, it wouldn't surprise me if we see him this weekend on the second of back-to-backs or something, although we do know that Jones does, for some reason, have really good stats playing in Minnesota. If Jones is to do something ridiculous like post a shutout on Friday, I could see Bugner giving him another look. Because, I mean, at this point, what have you got to lose? I mean, there's 14 games left. He's got all summer to recuperate. Who cares if you burn Jones out right now? And besides, even if you do claw your way back to a playoff position, there's no way you make it out of the first round, whether it's Vegas or Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm kind of rooting for the Sharks not to make the playoffs at this point. Don't ruin your draft chances. Don't get people, more hurt. Let them rest more, I suppose.
Well, and that's the thing, is that I would hope once they're mathematically eliminated that, you shut down Couture. Something's up. I mean, his passes aren't crisp. His skating is rough. I hope he's not doing any serious permanent damage to himself.
Yeah, as do I.
Yeah. We're at 20 likes right now with 54 people watching. Let's get that pumped up a little bit.
Yeah, come on, goddamn.
I know, right? Were there any donations, AJ?
I'm taking a look now. I read your mind, and I'm pulling up the app as we speak.
Appreciate it.
And tonight, no.
All right.
They're not. Everybody's upset. Everybody's using their money to buy beer.
Damn right.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you? This is bad. I mean, you've got back-to-backs in Minnesota, then you've got two straight versus Vegas now, and it makes me wonder as well, how focused are the guys going to be when there's all this hype now around Marleau, tying the record on Saturday, breaking it on Monday. Randy Hahn, if you didn't hear earlier on our Twitter feed, Randy said that there is some sort of event or presentation planned to roll during the first stoppage in play on Monday night in Vegas to acknowledge the breaking of the record. So, I mean, I don't know. Are the guys a little kind of, preoccupied with Patty breaking this record? I don't know.
But you know what? That's something to play for. I know Vegas is going to want to dominate in that game, but damn it, if there's a game left to show up, it's Monday night. Speaking of which, I'm going to be at that game on Monday, so that'll be fun and interesting to see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but Al, I mean,
FYI, Jerry just bought us a beer on Venmo. Thank you.
Thank you.
One beer, 3 straws.
Heck, I mean, you guys know I don't drink, but if you guys don't mind, that's
2
for sure.
straws. Yeah.
But Al, I mean, do they look at? Yes, they're going to be distracted with everything that goes on, the next few nights. But wouldn't that be something to play for? Hey, let's win it for. I mean, a couple of years ago we were saying win it for Jimbo. Yeah, it's a regular season game, but hey, let's win these games for Patty. Let's not have his marquee games, be a cursor to, well, they lost 5-0 to Minnesota and 9-0 to Vegas.
I want to say yes, because for players like Couture, Hurdle, Meyer, even Vlasic, they've played with them for 10 plus years. It's just the other players on the ice. We're talking about EK65. We're talking about the younger guys who've only been on the team for 2 or 3 years. They don't have that attachment to Marleau. And even though Marleau's achievement it's still notable, maybe they just don't have that attachment to Marleau, who has
That's a
played
great
at a
point.
small market
That's a great
all
point.
his season, all his career.
100%.
Yeah, because I guarantee you, Jumbo and Pavelski would have been like going, "All right, boys," you know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I would have seen more of attachment. I think there would have been more talk about it in the locker room if Joe Thornton was still there. That's the thing. Like, I'm glad Joe Thornton's not even in the conversation. I'm glad he's doing fine in Toronto, but like, I think there would have been more talk about those two going out of town together if Joe stayed.
What do you think of that, AJ? I mean, if Jumbo was there, I mean, I'm sure we'd be getting a lot more stuff prepping for Patty. I mean, oh yeah, Patty, way to go, Patty. Yeah, but
Well, I think it would also be a, something significant since they were both drafted together, and
Yeah, that's it.
they've always been tied together in that regard as one too. So I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me as well if that presentation that rolls in Vegas, if Jumbo hasn't already recorded a message for that, I'd be, insanely shocked. Same thing with Pavelski, Ricci. I mean, there's got to be guys up and down the lineup that have been key. Nabby, there's definitely going to be some guys that had to have recorded something. And this is the thing that really gets you with this whole pandemic being locked out of the building thing, because you all remember the insanity that happened when Marlowe returned with his first game with Toronto. Could you imagine what it would be like at the tank to recognize this event? It would be bedlam.
great.
And
Go ahead.
I think before the pandemic hit was Pavelski's first game back when he was with Dallas.
Yep.
And there was still a buzz in the air, but they were starting to limit fans coming in.
I don't think so.
No, not yet. That
'Cause
was
it
in January.
Yeah, it was January.
Okay, it was January. Okay.
So no, not yet.
But I get what you're saying is that there was the buzz, but the team was struggling. It was a month into a coaching change. We'll see.
Oh, that's right. Peter Bohr got fired. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jerry F apparently has bought us some beer, which means it's time for the wraparound. We'll do this really quick. Coyotes lose 5-2 to Minnesota.
No, we can do it this quick. Everybody that was supposed to lose lost, except for Anaheim. There you go. There's your wrap.
Good night, everyone.
That's all, folks.
Yeah. We will say the Barracuda did beat the Texas Stars tonight by a score of 4-2. Harvey with 29 saves. Latunov with 2 goals on this one. Ivan Chekovic with a goal and assist on this night for the Barracuda, who played at Silver Form America Ice. So good on the Barracuda for getting that victory on Indeed. I mean, the Barracuda have been having a rough go as it is as well. But quickly, Flames beat Montreal. What? The Flames won? I'm sure Daryl Sutter will send a message like, I hope he played better in his other 1,700 games.
Wasn't that also Lucic's 1,000th?
No, the other night.
Okay.
Yeah, last night.
My bad. It all blends together when I've got the COVID.
Jets and Senators. The Jets win. The Jets beat the Senators 3-2. Avalanche, like we said, the Blues lost 4-3. Thank you, Colorado. Devin Dubnyk with the victory in that one. As Grubauer goes into COVID protocol. Golden Knights win 6-2 in this one, beating the LA Kings. Thank you, Mark Stone, for the goal on my fantasy team. And there's that. Lanicle in the chat. Are you going to the Vegas game? Yes, I will be there Monday to see everything go down. We're still trying to figure out the parameters of how After Dark will work on Monday night, but there'll be some sort of check-in either at the hotel or at the game. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad it kind of worked out for me and my girlfriend to go for a little anniversary trip, and it just happened we get to see history. So
Also of note, Joe Pavelski scored once again last night.
Oh God.
All right.
Because that's what Joe Pavelski does.
I hear he's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I hear he's washed up. Has been.
Pretty good. All right. So with that, we will get out of here. AJ, thank you, bud, for the quotes and everything. Your final thoughts?
Well, I heard that there is going to be a clearance sale at the Shark Tank on this Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, and I feel like they might be able to make some decent coin on some white flags.
Oh.
Because it's time to wave them. I mean, again, you had 3 straight. Well, actually, I'm sorry, 3 straight. We had 5 straight, and we're actually incorrect. They had 7 straight. The last 7 games that they've played, 4 were against LA and 3 were against Anaheim.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But to go 1-4 over these last 5 is just as I'm trying to think who it was, if it was Meyer or Ferraro, but it's unacceptable. And you have, what is it now? It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 games left. And for those of you who did not hear the news, the game that was scheduled for April 23rd against Vegas has been moved to May 10th, so adjust your calendars accordingly. But you've got 14 games left, and yeah, the Yotes and the Blues and LA, they all lost tonight, but the problem is that they're all playing better than you, and 2 of those 3 teams are ahead of you. So, and your schedule does not bode well. You've got 3 versus Vegas, 4 versus Colorado. Half of the rest of your schedule this season is against the top 2 teams. And, oh, by the way, you have yet to beat Vegas this season. So,
Or be
again,
competitive with them.
Yeah. So, again, well, no. Wait a minute. Wasn't there one game that Vegas won in like overtime or the shootout?
Yay, 1.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least they took like 1 point, right?
Does that count?
Laurel saying April 21st canceled until May. No, April 23rd. April 23rd has been moved to May 10th. But anyway, I mean, it's, wave the white flag. The other thing being is that, again, there seems to be rumor, insinuation, speculation, conjecture about SAP Center opening before the end of this season to a limited number of fans. Randy Hahn today on NHL Network alluded as much, saying that there were actually expectations that the doors would open to a limited capacity before the end of the season over the final 7. So, see if there's an announcement between now and the 26th of April. If you're wanting to go visit the shit show live. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. And I can't. One of my favorite lines from Jerk is that you see so many people complain about this team losing or whatever, even though these same people at the beginning of the season said, oh, this team's going to suck. And then you complain when they suck. It's like you literally knew this was coming. So,
yep.
Hey, just take advantage of the suckage, as it were, and hope that the Sharks do really good in the draft lottery, I suppose, and draft really, really well, because it's going to be bad for a couple of years, people. But we'll all come out fine on the other end.
At least we hope.
God, I hope so.
Hey, dude, I get my first vaccine shot tomorrow, so I'm already on my way.
Oh boy! All right, good. All right, he's at AJ_Strong on the Twitter and Instagram. Al, your final thoughts on where the people can find you?
Pretty much the same as AJ, but just come in with low expectations, because the next couple of years are going to be really rough. Just enjoy watching the new prospects come in and just see them grow, because it's going to be rough for the next couple of years. And honestly, it's going to be fun for the next couple of years just watching the team with little expectations because of the last about 5 or 10 years, it's been playoffs or bust. So if you're a hockey
fan of
fan,
playoffs, we've had it pretty good.
Yeah.
Like it's been fun, but I think we've kind of we're paying our dues now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I should note that it is being mentioned on Twitter that evidently Getzlaf took the time to go over and congratulate Marlowe following the game.
nice.
I've always liked Getzlaf. So.
Yeah, so you love to see it. I like them more with hair, but that's fine.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that's what old age does to you.
I'm at Puckeye14 on the Twitter and Instagram. I'm just gonna say I had a feeling that the Sharks would be in playoff contention and get into the playoffs, and maybe shock the world. At the same time, I'm also realistic that that wasn't probably going to be the case. But when you have the opportunity, take advantage of it. No, even if it isn't exactly the best thing in the world to be successful, maybe the tank this year. So, in case you missed anything or want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com. In case you want to check this out again, right? I said that already.
Oh, dude, what are you doing? Is Alzheimer's kicked in already? Is that what comes with the second dose?
No, what comes with the second dose is frustration that the Sharks lost 4 of their last 5. You can check this out.
Just pull a Landy and hit the fucking out button.
No. Shut up, Al. Don't encourage AJ. Apple.
Sorry, he pulled that too.
Right. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and always available at Teal Town USA. We will be back with you. Oh, there we go. We'll be back with you on Friday night as the Sharks begin a 4-game road trip. They begin in Minnesota. Saturday is when Patty will tie Gordie Howe with the game's record. We'll be there to break it down. And until Friday night, keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, teal. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you Friday.